live stream. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Hope it's getting off to a good start, but we've got a lot to look at today. Okay, PROG was popping huge yesterday, and then it started to dump. Sundial has not been doing what we've been hoping it would. It started moving down yesterday as well. We'll start taking a look at the charts right here. But hopefully, we'll get up higher on both of these by the end of the week because both of those stocks have big gamma squeeze potential. Now, we will take a look at the options real quick for PROG stock first of all. That's the one that's really people are hoping will gamma squeeze. Sundial has some other catalysts. It doesn't necessarily matter as much if Sundial pops off this week, but let's read the comments real quick. So Flex4 says LFG Sundial. Yep, let's go Sundial. And Vu says everything gonna be here. I don't know exactly what that means, but Rich M says good morning. So good morning, man. And first of all, PROG stock, it looks like they added a bunch of different options for it just today. So now you can see there are actually a bunch of options that don't have open interest on them because they just added these recently. So they added $6 calls, $6.50 calls, $7 calls, as well as $8, $8.50, $9, and $9.50. So, you know, maybe people will buy up some of these. We'll see. We've yet to see what they're going to be trading for price-wise, but it looks like they have added more call options for people who are interested in those. We've already gotten some open interest on the $10 calls for PROG. So interesting stuff there. KTZ, good morning. Good morning. And now Sundial. Let's see what the calls on Sundial are looking like. 222,000, about the same as last time. Pretty much what we expected it to be. It hasn't changed all that much. We'll see if Sundial can't get back up above 80 cents. You can see it was struggling to get above 80 cents a couple of times in the after hours and pre-market. Now, I also want to point out something very interesting. In crypto, Shiba Inu coin is starting to tank today, down about 10% over the past 24 hours. Not ideal for Shiba Inu. A lot of people have been banking on Shiba Inu doing good. And if you look at the past 3 months, this will exemplify it. It has been on a big downtrend over about the past month, I think it is. A little bit less than a month. It's been on a big downtrend. It's looking like it's lost about 50% of its value from the peaks. So starting to look worrying for Shiba Inu coin. Shiba Inu is not doing that great. And Seam Blind says, good morning. This is very proggers. Yep. And good morning, Manny C as well. So we've got a lot to look at today. NVIDIA is actually popping off on a good earnings call. If you look at the past year or 180 days, let's look at the past year though. Well, you can't quite see it on the year chart, but once we open, you'll see NVIDIA is going to be opening much higher from where they closed. So it looks like they closed, let's see, they closed around $292, and now they're 320 just about. So NVIDIA is popping off, and you can see it's actually the number one trending stock on Reddit right now, up 5 spots, up 264% mention-wise. It must have been a great earnings call for them. It looks like they did beat. They were expected to get, let's see what they were expected to get, 92 cents, 94.8 cents per share, and they actually got $1.17 per share. So Mercenary SWAT says, good morning, and good morning, Maria also. Nacho Libre says, hey, I mentioned last week's CEI stock. It's up. Yes, I have been watching CEI stock a bit, actually. I've noticed it has entered back into this $1.40, $1.80 range that we used to watch it in. So actually, over the past 90 days, you can see it ever since Carousel Capital released that short report, it dumped huge way back when. And then it's kind of been struggling in the $1.40, $1.80 range for a bit, until it subsided below, bounced off $1 again, and now it's back up there. So we'll see if we can get something going with CEI stock. Maybe this one, if it can get past $1.80, it could be looking good, especially if Zach Morris tweets about it. That would really get CEI stock running. I mean, he might take this as an opportunity to tweet about it, because last time he did, I think was right here, when CEI moved up from $1.32 to $1.79 in just the course of 2 hours. So maybe Zach Morris will tweet about it again. Maybe he'll get a little pump going on CEI stock. That would be nice to see. If we could break past 180 in a significant way and hold above it, that could be very good for the future of CEI. So KG says Sundial, rocket ships, and moons. And Fudswater Foster says PROG gamma time. I hope so. We're getting really close. We're getting really close to Friday. If we can get back up above 5 on PROG, that would be really good to get those additional 40,000 open interest call options in the money, as well as actually 550. And now there's still a bunch at 7, but they have actually added a bunch of different open interest, they've added a bunch of different call option strike prices at $6, $6.50, and $7, as well as $8, $8.50, and $9, and $9.50. So a lot of new call options that people could be buying on. And Sir Lucas Squigglesworth the third says, I'm bullish on PROG. Sundial going to be an awesome run, says Mercenary SWAT. I think so. I think Sundial is going to do incredibly well over the next couple of days and weeks. Well, hopefully over the next couple of days. But over the next couple of weeks, I think Sundial's in for a good time. And it looks like we have actually started to fill this gap a little bit. Who knows if we'll fill it all the way. Maybe we'll get down to 72 cents. I sure hope not. People certainly like to talk about gap fills, and unfortunately, it seems like oftentimes they do get filled. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Sundial. So Sundial going to be an awesome run? Yep. I think it will be. But for those of you who are just joining the stream, it looks like 63 of you are here now. I will point out Shiba Inu coin has been tanking over the past couple of days. It's down 9.52% today alone. You can see that on the chart right here. It's just been moving down and down. So I don't know if any of you guys are Shiba Inu coin holders, but I mean, I hold a little bit. I sold most of it already, but it has been moving down. So I just wanted to point that out in case, any of you guys were holding Shiba Inu, and cryptos in general are moving down. You can see a lot of red over the past 7 days and over the past 24 hours. Bitcoin is down below 60,000. So we were thinking maybe it would hold that as support. It looks like that's not the case over the past, is it just the past day? Yeah, they were up over 60,000 not that long ago, actually. So Bitcoin also falling up past support. So we'll see what happens with all these cryptos. So Flux Force, or actually, hold up. Tyler Mike, POTX is the ETF that Sundial was acquired through. This is huge for Sundial. POTX, we'll take a peek at it. That sounds nice. POTX. Did that acquisition just happen? Global FDS Cannabis ETF. Nice. And Mohammed Sadiq, hi Rob, is Skills still a squeeze play? SKLZ. We'll take a peek, and I'll take a peek at the Ortex too, because that's what'll really tell us. SKLZ. So the Ortex. Are there still shorts in Skills stock? Let's see. I've not taken a look at Skills stock in a while. So Skills Inc. Looks like there are still 53 million shares short, 18% of the free float. We'll take a peek at it right here. 18.87% of the free float is short, 53 million short shares, and 96% utilization. So shorts have very heavily shorted this, at least compared to what they could possibly do to it. So Skills stock is certainly, if people are going to try and squeeze it, still a squeeze play. Otherwise, it's just a heavily shorted stock, right? So over the past year, it looks like, it's still up somewhat significantly from the lows of 797, up about 20%, or 25% just about. So not bad. We'll see what Skills stock can do. We'll see if it can get squeezed. It's going to have to move up quite a bit, probably. Let's see where the shorts were actually shorting it. Okay, so shorts, it looks like, might be in the money big time right now. A lot of shorts were coming in on Skills stock when it was above $10, above $15 for some of them. But some of them may have filtered out and new shorts may have come in. So it's looking like we'll have to get pretty darn high on Skills stock to actually start squeezing out shorts in the sense that they would be getting margin called out of their positions. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do with Skills stock. But let's see. We've got a lot of comments coming in. So POTX, we read that already. Good morning. Needing bulls to show up today. Yeah, we certainly do. And PROG Ortex, FTD's update. So yeah, we'll take a peek at the PROG Ortex as well. Let's see. PROG Ortex, I actually haven't looked at this yet this morning, but wow. So looks like we've got some additional shorts coming into PROG. We've got some more shorts. Short interest change up 5%, up to 22.95 million shares, and 20% short interest as a percentage of the free float. Now, interesting. All right, so more shorts are getting into PROG, trying to keep it down. That's interesting. It's potentially possible. I think that near the end of the day yesterday, a couple of shorts were covering on PROG, and we may have just ended the day with a couple of shorts, looking at PROG over the past couple of days, noticing that it was very high at one point and that it had taken a big dive towards the end of the day. Some shorts may have been covering around here, and now some more shorts are coming in, trying to get in, expecting PROG to get bounced off of $5. We'll see. We'll see if that's the case, but shorts are going to try and keep it down. Where do you find shorted stock information on stocks, says KG? I use Ortex right here. Ortex, Ortex, and it is a paid service. It costs about $80 a month. unfortunately, it's a little expensive. But something you guys can do, actually, if you guys are looking for additional capital, there is a pretty cool opportunity that I will point out to you guys in the description of any one of my videos. I bet you guys haven't done this yet. I bet you don't have an M1 Finance account, and you can get a free $50, guaranteed free $50, when you sign up for and fund an M1 Finance account. It's in the description of this live stream, in the description of all of my videos. All you got to do is click the link in the description. It takes you here. There's a free $50 waiting for you. Just sign up for and fund your free M1 Finance account, and you only have to put in $100 into this brokerage account. So you sign up, you make an account and whatnot, and then you can get a free $50 by making that account. So that is an option, and I will show you guys my account right here. This is my long-term portfolio, so I got about 18K in this. It's up 4% over the past month, and you can break it up into these little pies and whatnot. So let's take a peek at the tech pie and just see what it's been doing. So over the past month, I've been holding Microsoft, Shopify, Facebook, TQQQ, Tesla, Apple, Axon, AMD, NVIDIA, Square, Netflix, Spot. These are all up pretty big, except Twitter and DraftKings and Zillow are down. So we'll see what happens with those. But you can break your portfolio up into little pies, and just very easy. It's very easy to just automatically put money in there every month and not worry too much about it, because it invests it for you into those pies. So really good brokerage account, in my opinion, if you guys are interested in that. So that's a possibility for you guys if you're interested in it. But Silver says, on balance volume the last 3 days was low and fared shorts time for the running of bulls. Yeah, I hope that we get some bulls coming in. That would be nice. That would be nice. Let's see. So PROG Stock, where are we looking to open? Hopefully we'll get above 5, close to the market open. That's what I'm hoping for. But it looks like we're around 475, so we've only got 25 cents to move up. Not that much, considering what PROG has done in the past. On some of its opens, it's moved up quite a bit. So it actually moved up last time from 571 all the way to 620 just about. So we could certainly get up to $5, I think, if there's a lot of buying pressure, and there might be. Looking at the StockTwits data, you can see PROG is the #1 ranking stock on StockTwits, up above Lucid, AMC, Rivian, all that. So it's very possible that that some bulls are going to be entering PROG. They know that the gamma squeeze is imminent, at least, right? If they can get PROG up pretty high, looking at all those call options, they're looking pretty juicy. 56,000 at 750. Let's see if we can't get it up there. I think some bulls might want to get it up above 750. So we have missed a lot of comments. So JP says, good morning, Rob. What are your thoughts about REE? We'll take a peek at REE. I don't know if I've Automotive Ltd Classic. Okay, so I've not actually looked at this company. It doesn't look great right off the bat. Just seeing it looks like it was a SPAC, and then as soon as it went public, it started tanking massively. So not the biggest fan of when companies do that, but yeah, that is unfortunate. That it's been moving down so much. So REE, is it a short play? Is that what people are in it for? Let's see. REE, Re-Automotive. Okay, so on Ortex, it looks like there's no data for it. So not on Ortex. We've got nothing for it there. But maybe Market Watch will tell us a little bit about the company, what it does, unless it's a very small market cap, in which case we won't be able to learn anything about it. So $1.2 billion market cap on REE. And REE Automotive is an electronic platform which develops the next generation EV platform, which is flat, scalable, and modular, providing customers full design freedom to create a range of EV and autonomous vehicles for current and future applications. It manufactures zero-emission vehicles. The firm operates through the following segments: last mile delivery, robotaxis, blah, blah, blah. So interesting. So EV company. I don't know. With these EV companies, there sure are a lot of them, and it's really going to take this one doing well in comparison to the others. Like, we've already got Lucid, Rivian, Tesla. It's going to be tough for new players to enter the market and become big names, I think. I think it could be tough, but we'll see what happens with RE. And thank you, Joseph. You've been one of the biggest supporters. It says, great show, Rob. You've been one of the biggest supporters, so I really appreciate you for the super chats, man. That's much appreciated. Definitely one of the biggest supporters, one of the most common names. You've been with us since the beginning, so much appreciated. And Silver says, Nacho, retail needs to pile on and push this 11.9 options in the money. Yeah, I think they do, Austin. I think that retail realizes, right? It's PROG is one of the number one talked about stocks on stock twits right now. I think people are talking about how there are a ton of open interest call options that could be in the money very soon, and that would be causing a lot of institutions to have to buy up more shares of PROG, especially if people buy up all of these different strike prices today. I mean, I'm not saying they should. I'm thinking these are pretty risky, these different strike prices, buying options, especially this close to expiration when they're expiring tomorrow. It is very risky, but you never know if some people are going to YOLO a ton of money into these PROG options. And potentially institutions would have to deal with that if they don't own the shares already, if they're just selling more call options, expecting PROG to get kept below $5 or something. We'll see what happens, but it could be very bad for the institutions. So let's gamma ramp moon mission, PROG, Austin says. And KG, thank you. You're welcome. Pablo, I have M1 Finance. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I like it too. That's a life investment for sure. Yeah, it is. It's definitely for the long term. If you guys are interested in long-term investing, M1 Finance is the way to go. So, Shiny Shinyman, good morning. Matthew 707, PROG to $10. I hope so. It actually looks like we just got some $10 calls as of yesterday. These were tradable, so we have 1,700, which is not that many open interest calls at $10, but they're tradable now. And it looks like they haven't actually added that many more strike prices for these different strike dates. Okay, so it's really just November 19th that they're adding a bunch of different prices for, seeing if they can sell them to some people. So interesting stuff. And Flux Force, another super chat. Love the show. Thoughts on OG Organic Garage? I appreciate that, Flux Force, and I will take a peek at OG Organic Garage. So I think, did we look at this yesterday? No, we looked. Okay, that's right. We looked at Onion Global because is it a NASDAQ traded stock? OG Organic Garage. Let's see if we can't find it. OG. Is it a stock? Is it? It is OG. That's the Organic Garage. Let's see. I don't know if we. I don't know where Organic Garage is. Let me look this up on Google and see. Because I remember we looked at this last time and we pulled up Onion Global. So let's take a peek at OG Organic Garage on Google. So Organic Garage Ltd. It's 54 cents per share at the moment. Organic Garage Ltd. owns and operates grocery stores that sell natural and organic products to consumers in Canada. Okay, that sounds good. That's definitely a very modern stock, right? People wouldn't have been interested in that, 50 years ago, but nowadays people certainly are. So CAOG. So is it just trading on a Canadian stock market? I think it might be. All right, so $32 million market cap. And let me pull up the info that we've got on it. So Organic Garage. Where is it? Right there. So $32 million market cap, $50 million float. Let's see if we can't see a larger time frame. Unfortunately, we're going to have to look at it on Market Watch. So highs over the past year of almost $1 before it got bounced off, and it has actually been uptrending recently. That's always promising. Let me see if Yahoo Finance has anything on it, because typically that's a bit of a cleaner UI to look at, but we'll see what we can find on Organic Garage. So OG.V, is that it? Is that it? I think Organic Garage Ltd. So let's take a peek at this right here. Organic Garage Ltd. at 54 cents. I think that's the one. That's what it's trading at per share. So, okay, they further expand its hand-picked partner program. This certainly sounds like the kind of stock that could grow into something pretty big, kind of like a Whole Foods, and maybe is the kind of thing that will eventually get acquired by a larger retailer, kind of like how Whole Foods got bought up by Amazon. Because the organic market, I'm sure is going to do well in the future. People are really getting very health conscious, but it does tend to be a little bit smaller than the normal food market. So it's tough sometimes for stores to fully operate and really grow and become big publicly traded companies just doing organic and that kind of stuff. But I could see this becoming definitely a juicy acquisition for another company, kind of like how Amazon bought up kind of like how Amazon bought up Whole Foods. And it says the company adds non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits. Non-alcoholic beer, wine, and spirits. I don't know how well that's going to be selling, but other than that, it's looking pretty decent. Program will successfully established by the company to fulfill certain categories such as specialty cheese, baked goods, sushi, fresh juices, and prepared foods via third-party partners. So yeah, that looks like a decent one. Very low market cap, which is always promising, right? $32 million market cap. It would not take much. If this stock started getting listed on, say, the NASDAQ and all that, if they started getting listed on some additional exchanges, that could definitely take off in a pretty big way, right? Because $32 million would not be tough to turn into $100 million, and then you'd have tripled your investment. Now, I'll be back in just 1 second. Let me turn on the fan. It's starting to get a little warm in here. I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. Nice, I am back. So Shadow Girl says good morning, and Silver says shorts are holding Neo. Good morning, Shadow Girl. And are shorts holding Neo? Let me take a peek at the short interest on Neo stock. Let's see what that's all about. Neo stock, yes, Silver. I'm looking at it. So shorts. It looks like Neo isn't all that shorted. It looks like short interest is up a little bit, up 1% today. And currently we've got a 4.28 percentage of the free float being shorted, 55 million shares. So potentially shorts might be, they are acting on it slightly, right? 1.35% increase on Neo stock short interest. So let's see. But it's still doing relatively well, right? It's not down that much in after hours or anything like that. It's relatively stagnant regarding where it closed. And it looks like over the past bit, though, they have been getting bounced off of 43, which could potentially be acting as a resistance for them. So we'll see what happens with Neo stock. I mean, it has been uptrending in the past. We'll see if they can't get something better going for them over the long term. So Flux Force, you're welcome, man. I appreciate you. And Kitchener Leslie says no alcohol equals no spirit. That's maybe true. That might be true. And Linus says, good morning, Rob. What are we expecting from PROG at the bell? Well, we're hoping that PROG is going to do something similar to what it did yesterday. The first bar is likely to be very volatile, kind of like yesterday. We can actually look back and see what happened, and it's not guaranteed to be exactly the same. But the first bar yesterday, we saw a lot of volume, a lot of volatility. The second bar is where the action really picked up, and we started moving up. So we'll see if we can't get the same thing going on. But there's no guarantee that that's going to happen, right? Obviously, there was a ton of hype for PROG yesterday. It was opening higher than it is today. It was opening around 580. And today, I will point out, though, that it is still the #1 ranking stock on StockTwits right here, PROG stock. So it's very possible that PROG will go through something similar, but some people might be a little discouraged by the fact that a lot of people may have been buying in yesterday. And looking at the past couple of days, if you were buying in yesterday, you are potentially down on money depending on where you bought. If you didn't buy in after hours, then you're probably down on money if you're buying yesterday. So some people might just be looking to break even on PROG. Some people are probably still in it for the gamma squeeze potential and will just be holding no matter what. And let's hope that's the case because we really want PROG stock moving up above 5 to get in the money, these 40,000 open interest call options. So that's what we're really hoping for, that PROG will get above 5 today because tomorrow is the expiration for all of those options. So that's what we're really hoping that by tomorrow we can get PROG much higher, up above 550 preferably, and 750 if possible, to really get the maximum gamma squeeze potential out of it. But we'll see. We'll see. And let's see. I'm sorry I'm missing some of the comments here, but there are quite a bit coming in. So Andrew S. says, Sundial, November 26th, $1 calls. Thoughts? Great show, Rob. Thanks. You're welcome, man. I appreciate that. But the November 26th $1 calls on Sundial, I've talked about Sundial calls in the past. So what I think about them is that, potentially you can make some money. Honestly, November 26th, that's the end of next week, it looks like. You're paying 2 or 3 cents per share for the dollar call options. It's not the priciest. That's relatively cheap. But keep in mind that Sundial is at 80 cents per share right now. And let's say it just goes up to $1, or maybe it just goes up to 90-something cents over the next week or so. That would still be a nice gain if you'd bought the stock. But if you buy the call options, then those are expiring worthless and all the money goes away. So it is a little riskier. And I tend to stay away from these near-term call options because it is almost just gambling. You can't ever say 100% for sure that something is going to happen in the stock market. So I do tend to stay away from the calls. And looking at Sundial, you can see it's pretty volatile, right? It's gone up, it's gone down. We're going to see if we can't bounce off of 80 and start moving up. I just like buying the shares because I know that I'm going to be able to hold those and that they're not just going to expire and become worthless on me. Unless Sundial goes bankrupt, which I don't think is going to have a possibility of happening. They're doing pretty well cash-wise, so I'm less bullish on call options than I am just on buying the stock, at least on Sundial. Even with these short-term things, the short-term things make a lot more sense than the really far-out call options, right? Because these, you're only saving 50%, right, buying the options as opposed to the stock, but it has to rise so much more for you to actually start making money on it, so... I am more inclined to get into the short-term call options on Sundial, but I'm still not too keen on them, right? I'm a little worried about short-term call options just because they can expire worthless. They seem pretty risky, but obviously it's up to you guys what you want to do. It's up to y'all. So also the Jan 21 calls, says Andrew S. Okay, so the Jan 21 calls, let me actually address that. So Jan 21, let's see. Yeah, so these, you're getting decent leverage on them. The thing is, Sundial has to be up above $1.12 or $1.13 before you even break even. And at that point, if you were up at $1.13 per share on Sundial, you could have bought the stock and been up a decent amount anyways, instead of just breaking even on the options. I mean, you're making a really bullish bet on Sundial, which I'm in favor of, right? I think Sundial is going to do very well. But there is always the risk. I mean, there's a lot of shorts in Sundial. We'll take a peek at this. There's a lot of shorts that want Sundial moving down, and you never know what the shorts are going to do, right? They've kept Sundial down for this long. Maybe they can continue doing it. There's 351 million shares short on Sundial, so institutions certainly have a vested interest in keeping Sundial down, and they have been able to do it successfully for the past while. If you look at the past, we'll look at the past year. They've just been pushing Sundial down and down and down. So hopefully, we're hoping that this boost will be the one that gets us past $1 and where we keep moving up, and that maybe we get some of those shorts out. Maybe the shorts are less inclined to remain in their short positions. Maybe they don't think that it's worth shorting anymore now that the company's making money, that they're doing good. That's the hope. But as long as those shorts are in there, we have something to worry about because they're not going to want Sundial moving up. They're going to try to push it down. So the call options are pretty risky at the moment, in my opinion. So Zach Taylor says, good morning. Good morning, Zach. Slept in. What did I miss? There are a couple of things. One, we're hoping that PROG is going to move up to 5 come open, similar to what it did yesterday. I think, where is yesterday on PROG? Yeah, so similar to what it did yesterday. We want to see on the 1-minute candlestick maybe a little bit of volatility on the first one and then moving up big. We could see that. We could see it. But we really just want to get above 5 just because of all the call options on PROG stock that are now out of the money, right? They were in the money yesterday for a large part of yesterday. 40,000 at $5 and 29,000 at $5.50. We want those back in the money. And Sundial hopefully will regain some support at 80 cents instead of using it as resistance as it has been. In addition, though, I will point out, crypto is falling a little bit. Cryptos are not looking good. Bitcoin's down 2%, and Shiba Inu coin is down 8.57%. So it looks like Shiba Inu might have reached its peak. People are starting to sell out of Shiba Inu coin. They're looking at it like maybe it was a dud investment, some of the people who are buying in around here, and they're looking to cut losses. Maybe some people who are buying in before are trying to take profits. I've sold most of mine. I sold most of mine way back when, but I'm still just going to hold what I've got just because I don't care too much about it. It's like $100-something bucks in Shiba Inu. I really don't care that much about it. So, let's see. Noble H PROG. First pivot point resistance is 586. Let's see. 586. Where did we hit that yesterday? 586. Yeah, okay. So around here is looking like where we might have, found some resistance yesterday. And hopefully we won't see too much resistance there today. You never know, though. You never know. It looks like, unfortunately, we are downtrending come the opening bells. So that's not what we wanted. We don't want that. And also something that's going on in the markets, I'll point out just real quick, is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is doing very well today in the pre-market and after hours. They pumped up big on earnings. They're up, let's see what this is actually. I'm not sure what percentage increase they've experienced due to their earnings, but it looks like about a 10% increase. I know my buddy who works at NVIDIA is going to be very happy about that. He owns some NVIDIA stock just because it was given to him as, being part of the company and whatnot. But we'll see. It looks like Sundial is getting volatile come open. PROG is falling a little bit, and NVIDIA is falling as well, as is the market as a whole, right? The market, the S&P, is moving down, so no surprise that these stocks are suffering as well. But we'll see what happens with them throughout the course of the day. It's not looking great for PROG if we break through 450, because then we would be losing an additional 17,000 open interest call options. So that's not what we want with PROG. We want to be moving higher, not dropping lower. Hopefully PROG will use that as a strong support. Hopefully people use that as a rallying call to keep us going up. And Silver says, will folks sell soon to get ready for tax season? That's potentially something that could go on. That's potentially possible. I might be thinking about doing that on some of my losers throughout the course of the year. I might like to reduce my tax bill by selling some of those. That's some strategy that people take. So Flexforce says Motley Fool is a company of clowns. For the most part, I think that you might be right about it. I think you might be right about that. Taking a peek at Clove, though. Clove is down 10%. That's brutal. I think, what is that? Did they do an offering? I forget what the news was on Clove. I forget what happened to Clove, but they did an offering of common stock, and that was 11/16, so 2 days ago. And it didn't fall all that much on the news of the offering, but now it's falling. Now it's certainly falling. Geez, Clove is getting killed. And speaking of Clove, it looks like PROG might be bouncing back up above 450. That's good. Sundial as well. It looks like a lot of the bars are matching up on Sundial and PROG. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. But I will point out, for those of you who are interested in getting some free cash, some free $50, you can get a free $50 when you sign up for and fund an M1 Finance account. All you got to do is click the link in any one of my recent videos or this live stream, and there's a free $50 waiting for you when you fund your account. And I will actually bring over my M1 Finance. This is more of a long-term account. Where did my mouse go? My M1 Finance account, which I got logged out of, so never mind. I won't bring it over, but you can sign up for M1 Finance, and I think you only have to put in $100 to get the free 50. So instant 50% return, no risk, right? There's no risk to signing up for this account and getting the free $50. But in the description of this video, it's a guaranteed 50. It's not an up to $50 kind of situation. It's just a free 50 if anyone wants a nice brokerage account at M1 Finance. I've been using it for a bit, and it is one of my favorites. It's my long-term portfolio that I got in there. So, and Prabesh says, good morning, what do you say about Clove? Well, it's not looking good for Clove. Maybe this is when I think that they announced the offering on the 16th. Maybe they're starting to actually sell the shares now. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Potentially announces pricing of $300 million. Okay, so yesterday they announced the pricing, and the offering is expected to close on or about November 22nd. No, so it's not that they're selling shares yet. But people may just be dropping Clove in expectation. Here's something that traders might be doing. Some people who are in Clove for the long term might be selling Clove shares right now because they want to buy it back in when the offering happens, right? Because oftentimes, when there's a big influx of shares, the price will drop, right? So some traders might be looking at it like, hey, I can sell Clove for, yesterday $7, now $5. Maybe it'll drop more on the 22nd when this offering actually happens, and I can buy back in for cheaper. So that's what some traders might be thinking. Get a whole lot more shares under their belt for the same amount of capital being allocated to it. So that's a real possibility, and Clove certainly is at an all-time low. It might be time to buy more. I might have to throw some more in my M1 Finance account because that's where I'm holding Clove, because that's the long-term account. So I'm not too worried about these short-term fluctuations. You can't always... you can't trade every stock. It looks like Sundial, though. Sundial getting pushed down below the 78.5, which is where we actually had support the past couple of times we hit it. So maybe we'll bounce off of that. That's what we're really hoping for. But like I said, institutions really want Sundial moving down. There's a ton of shorts on Sundial trying to push it lower. And we haven't actually increased that much today, short interest-wise. But it would not surprise me to see more shorts piling in. It looks like there's still a couple of percentage points on utilization left. So, and Ashtray says, good morning, how is PROG looking? It's not looking great, unfortunately. It's looking like we actually just broke through the 450. And taking a peek at the options, that's, I think, 17,000 open. Yep, 17,000 open interest call options that are now out of the money. So it looks like, let's see if there's any short change on PROG stock. But I think shorts are doing it to us again. Let's see. So, short interest change on PROG. It was like this earlier today when we looked. But short interest change on PROG up 5%. So 5% more shorts in this thing. 22.95 million shares total shorted. And a 20.41% short interest as a percentage of the free float. So there certainly are a lot of shorts in this thing, and shorts are not scared to short it more, it looks like. Some more shorts might be coming in. So Amin Kodari, I feel like if Sundial didn't go up today, it will heavily go down on Monday. Possible. But what I would point out is that the share buyback on Sundial, I'll pull this up. I will point out something about the share buyback on Sundial, which I think, geez, we are tanking on Sundial, down 3%. This is a nasty, nasty red 10-minute bar. Let's go back to the 1 minute. This 10-minute looks too gross. The 1 minute doesn't look great either, though. Geez. We'll see what we can get going with Sundial. But what I would point out about Sundial is that their share repurchase program will commence, right here. It says the share repurchase program will commence on November 19th, 2021, and will expire November 19th, 2022. So that means that potentially, as of tomorrow, starting tomorrow, some Sundial shares might be getting bought back by the company. That would certainly be a much-needed boost to the company's stock. I would actually have expected to see us rising today in expectation for them to be buying back the shares. So we'll see. You know, maybe Sundial just has to close that gap. Maybe people are betting on it closing that gap. And if we can hit 72, that could actually act as a really nice support for us potentially if we do. I knew it was possible that we would close the gap. I was hoping this would be the one where it didn't happen. But 72.5 is looking like a place where we might have to go down to. Maybe we'll have to go down that low. I would certainly be looking to buy some more at 72.5 if we got down there. That's looking like not just a good technical level, but a good fundamental level to be buying at as well, especially considering that tomorrow the share buyback is going on. So I would not hate to see Sundial. I guess I wouldn't be happy to see it moving down to 72.5, but it would provide a better buying opportunity, I suppose. So Amin Kodari says, I love your channel, by the way. I appreciate that, Amin. I appreciate that. And Zach Taylor says, all the stoners are panicking because they are losing their munchies money, and inflation is hitting, making it doubly tough to purchase food. So, yeah, food prices have actually been crazy. Let me just find something on food price inflation. Let's see if we can't find something good. What's recent? Is this going to be decent? No, we want something very visual. Okay. Here we go. No. Although I will just point out, CNN says world food prices are up 30% in a year, and that's the tough thing, right? When food prices start going up, it gets kind of tough to survive for some people. So that's not great for less wealthy individuals. That's really bad, actually, because food is oftentimes the biggest expense people have, depending on the country you're living in. So that could be really bad for some people, and that's world food prices, 30% more expensive. Let's find a chart right here. Let's find it. Okay, so is this a good chart? Cost of food increased in October of 21 by 5.3%. For the same month in the previous year, it's the highest annual increase since January 2009. So, yeah, you can see food has just been getting more and more expensive over the past couple of months. The year-over-year increase is pretty dramatic. So I believe this is a 5% increase in October over the same month in the previous year. So pretty dramatic food increases that we've been experiencing. Food price increases, I should say. Now there's potentially less food. So Silver says the shorts if flank the shorts if the drop is coming. This is why I like 25 to 30% cash reserves. Yeah, true. It is good to have some cash on the sideline, Silver. I agree with that. I've got a decent amount of cash in this trading account right here. so it's by no means fully allocated. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a big upside to having some cash reserves at times. But the question is, if you have 25% cash reserves and you see a deal, do you spend all of it and then you don't have any cash reserves left? I mean, that's the tough part, right? Trying to keep an allocation of 25-30%. You're always stuck with that amount of cash unless you see a really great deal. And I guess then you just blow through the cash. So Roman Perot says, hopefully 75-cent support will hold on Sundial. I'm holding long term after the shorts. I agree with that. It would almost be okay with me at this point if we just went down to 72.5, closed that gap, because a lot of people have been saying that the gap needs to close, and we knew it was a potential situation that we'd be dealing with. And if we just close the gap now, then it's closed and we can just start rising again. So potentially we'll be bouncing off 72.5, but it would be nice to see Sundial catch itself. Maybe we'll close it. Maybe we'll, stagnate or do something today, and then tomorrow in after hours tomorrow in pre-market we might close the gap and then start moving up once the share buyback commences. We'll see. NJ says, I'm long in Sundial. However, I would love to see it get knocked down today and tomorrow to entice the company to buy back while the price is low. I'm buying the dip and hoping my gut is right. I think that would be a great thing also, yeah. I think it would be nice if Sundial did move down a touch and the company could buy up some shares and just put some more money into Sundial. That would be nice. So, Junkin Irish says, Fisker going up. FSR, I think I'm in the money on Fisker as long as it's below 21.80. I'm pretty sure, because I have a 19.50 call option for $19.50. That's where I sold the call option. I think I got $1.30 for it. So I think that means maybe it has to get to $20.80. I think that might be it. Yeah, $20.80 is where I'm break even on selling that call option. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Fisker. I have a bit until expiration. I think it might be this monthly. So I think it's the no, it's not the 11/19. I don't think it is. At least let me check. I think it's the December 3rd or something. The Fisker call option that I've sold. So yeah, I saw Fisker was moving down. The EVs were all moving down. Where's that Fisker call option? Let's just check Fisker out initially. All right, so Fisker, it's a 1950 call. This expires December 3rd. All right, there we go. So we've got some time on it. We've got some time for Fisker to fall. Well, I mean, obviously I don't want it to fall. I'd rather it expire in the money, and I get, I sold it when it was like a $17 stock. So I'm happy to sell the stock for $19.50 and collect the premium as well. And Silver says, I like bulls coming in Sundial at 65 to 70. I don't know if we would get that low. I mean, that's back where we were trading. 70 cents seems pretty low for Sundial regarding, how we have been trading in just a month ago. Let's look at the past 30 days. Let's see where we were 30 days ago. I guess we were at 63 cents 30 days ago. We were mostly trading below 70 cents. But now that we've had this good fundamental news, it just doesn't make too much sense to me to actually start trading there again, right? And the news of the share buyback, I'm not sure. Maybe. I just think that hopefully, at least, we'll stay above 70, if not 72.5. I think 72.5 makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that people want the gap to close. They want it to fill. Let it happen, Ideally, we would have just been moving up. It looks like we've been trending down, unfortunately. So just let that gap fill. If it needs to fill, let it fill. Maybe we'll get a bounce off of 75, 76. We'll see. But it looks like a lot of people want that gap to fill. And Matt Handbag says there have been multiple 20% pumps, including Sundial and PROG, before climbing more before crashing. Yes, especially with PROG. If you look, PROG has had a history over the past 90 days of these pumps and then consolidating, if not moving down a little bit, pumping up, consolidating, moving down, pumping up, consolidating, moving down, pumping up, consolidating, moving down, and then moving up big again. So we didn't actually quite make new highs on this one, which is surprising, right? We got close to new highs. So it is technically breaking the pattern in that sense, which is unfortunate. But we do have a lot of reason to get PROG up higher today. A lot of people have reason to buy this. And Danny's Money Talk, I agree. We will see higher consolidation levels. Keep up the great work, Rob. I appreciate that, Danny. I certainly will try. And it's about that time, guys, at 9:44 that I have to mention we have 125 viewers on the stream and 83 likes. Let's see if we can't get up to 100 likes on the stream. All we would need is 17 additional beautiful people coming in. liking the stream who haven't done it already. We've got 131 viewers. It should not be difficult to find 17 of you who have not hit the like button yet. We're at 89. Only 11 likes left are required. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. 99 likes. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there. One more like gets us to 100. Nice. We got to 102. I appreciate it, guys. Cool. That is always fun to just watch the like counter roll up when I request. So it is nice. I appreciate you guys. And the markets actually took a little bit of a dip. I was not paying attention to this chart in the bottom right, but the S&P did take a little bit of a dump come market open, the opening bell. And since then, it's consolidated a little bit. Let's see what QQQ is doing. QQQ, more of a V-shape than the S&P. It's actually doing not too bad. So we'll see if it can get above 400, right? It hit 400, and it looks like it bounced off of that. And the highest we've gotten is 499. So what's SQQQ at? Oof, 610. All right, if we get to 6, that's when I'm selling out of this position, right? I bought in at 644, basically not quite the peak. I think I bought in around here. But if we get to 6, that's where my stop loss is going to be set. So I'm going to keep an eye on that throughout the day, but we'll move it to QQQ and see what's going on with that. That's more interesting than SQQQ. PROG's starting to move down again. Starting to move down, unfortunately, a little bit with PROG. And Gordo says, thinking about closing my safe position and ETF positions to fund Sundial. Ooh, that sounds risky, but potentially very profitable. Matt Handbag says Sundial going to 650. I hope so. I think that over the long term, we'll certainly see it. But who knows what happens in the short term. There sure are a lot of shorts in Sundial stock. And they certainly want to keep Sundial moving down lower. So it's tough. It's been tough with Sundial. You know, it's been a battle that we've been in for a long time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. And by John says, I asked a few times earlier, just in case you missed it, I'd really like to know your thoughts on MMAT, the first metamaterial co listed on NASDAQ, MMAT. We have looked at this stock. So we have looked at this one in the past, but let me see. What is a metamaterial? Is that something I should know? MMAT. I mean, I know what the stock is, but what do they do? So their profile says they engage in the manufacture and development of functional materials. Its technology platform enables the global brands to deliver products to customers in consumer electronics, 5G communications, health and wellness, aerospace, automotive, and clean energy. All right. And what's their market cap looking like? $1.24 billion market cap. Let's find the definition of metamaterial. If there is a definition. So a metamaterial, a synthetic composite material with a structure such that it exhibits properties not usually found in natural materials, especially negative refractive index. Okay. So something sciencey. I don't know what a negative refractive index is, but it sounds useful. So there certainly could be some potential in it. I just don't know enough about what a metamaterial is. It sounds like maybe it's the glass in planes and cars and screens and potentially solar panels. Is that what they do? Do they make the glass for that kind of stuff? Because refractive index, that kind of sounds like something that has to do with glass. But yeah, I could see them becoming bigger. I mean, $1.2 billion if they're making these materials that are going to be used in all of those different industries, especially if they're the first listed on the NASDAQ. That certainly sounds promising. And consumer electronics, 5G communications, health and wellness, aerospace, automotive, and clean energy. That sounds like a pretty big potential market that they could be getting into in the near future. So check their website, says John. Yes, that's a good idea. Metamaterials. Let's see. They'll explain it probably pretty good there, right? They want people to buy their stuff. So decline that, and we'll pull it up right here. It looks pretty futuristic to me. So their technology, metamaterials, and functional surfaces. Ooh, I like the sound of that. I'm guessing that's like screens on a kitchen counter or something like that, is what I'm assuming. So how metamaterials and functional surfaces work. Development strategies for metamaterials and functional materials focus on structures that produce unusual and exotic electromagnetic properties by manipulating light and radio waves in the ways that has never been naturally possible. They gain their properties not as much from their raw material composition as from their exactingly designed structures. The precise shape, geometry, size, orientation, and arrangement of these nanostructures affect the electromagnetic waves of light to create material properties that are not easily achievable with natural materials. Okay, so sounds like very futuristic stuff that we're dealing with. Could certainly be a big industry in the future if they're successful with this, right? If they holography, that sounds useful. That sounds like something that we all want. So we could potentially have some holograms. It sounds like so. Meta's holographic optical elements are based on photosensitive polymers, are custom designed, and are suitable for product integration by lamination, thermoforming, plastic injection molding, and casting. Meta works closely with customers and suppliers to tune the properties of the photopolymer material to meet application requirements. Okay. Might have to add in some metamaterial in my portfolio. I don't know. This sounds very promising. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. I'm not an engineer. I don't know enough about it to really understand exactly the ins and outs of what they're doing. But it does sound like a promising long-term play, especially if they're in all of those different industries. Automotive, health and wellness, 5G. It sounds like there's a lot of potential upside to metamaterials. So, potential. I'll look more into this one and potentially add it to the long-term. John, thank you for pointing that out. And Zach Taylor says Turkish lira in free fall now. What's the symbol? Asks Vivi Ruddock. And FLT, it's an up-and-coming company. Rumors are working with Tesla at some point. I'm long for them. MMAT says FLT. That would be cool if they worked with Tesla. That would be good for them. So it looks like PROG and Sundial are both taking a dump. They're both moving down. It looks like PROG down to lows of day. Sundial down to lows of day as well. That's not what we want on these stocks. Sundial, it's understandable why they're doing it. They need to close that gap, apparently. You know, I hate that kind of a technical thing, but every now and then you gotta admit that's how it goes sometimes. So we'll see it. We'll probably see it go down to 72.5. Honestly, it's not that far off. It's 2.5 cents at this point. That's less than what they've fallen today already. So just let it happen. Let it go down, and hopefully it happens quick, and then we can get a nice V going. PROG, on the other hand, not sure why this one's falling, right? This one really doesn't seem like it should be falling. It seems like the kind of thing that should instead probably be bouncing off of $4 and starting to move, or sorry, not bouncing off of $4. It seems like the thing that should be moving up past 5, and that we should be doing very well with regardless. Because it has such a high. Let's see what the short interest is on it. It was up 5% on the day, I know, but it's not like more shorts are piling in this right now, at least not that we can see on Ortex. So it's still about 5%. It looks like people are just deciding to sell this one and just not gamma squeeze out the shorts. So that is not what we want to see. Sundial trimming down before the bloom, says Rico Aguilar. Not a bad decision. Not the worst decision in the world. We could certainly see this one going down a bit more. But I'm still going to be holding on to my Sundial. I'm not too worried about it. I've been holding Sundial for a long time. I'm not scared to hold more Sundial, so I'm just going to keep holding on to it. And PROG, it looks like, is just taking a big dump. People are just selling their PROG. It's a little similar to what happened yesterday, but not really the same thing. Yesterday we were a little bit more bullish earlier on, and I don't know. This is a tough situation for PROG over the past 5 days. I mean, it's not the worst pattern in the world, considering the fact that we have had a history of moving up and then consolidating and moving down. It's just not what we wanted to see. We wanted to see this be the big one because of the gamma squeeze potential that PROG has. We wanted to see a lot of institutions buying up shares of PROG. So FluxForce, what do you mean by gap? How is a gap generated? Sorry, gap on Sundial. I'll point this out. So if you look at a daily chart, gaps are formed when you open much higher than where you closed the previous day. Basically, when there's a big after hours and pre-market move. So looking at the chart on Sundial, you can see that when we got this earnings news, they had closed at 72 cents just about, and then they opened up around 91 cents, and so this formed a gap right here. And so before we were looking at just this, right, there was a big gap that Sundial hadn't filled technically just from 80 cents because they did actually reach down that far. But so technically the gap was just from 72 to 80 cents, but it's looking like it's going to fill all the way, and we're going to get some bars covering this area, bringing this back down to 72. So that's what a gap is, and most of the time gaps end up getting filled. So I was hoping that would not be the case with Sundial, but it looks like it will be. So Matte, Handbag, Wish Clove, and Robinhood all reached all-time low. Something is going down. Yeah, I know we were looking at Clove. They reached an all-time low right there at 570. And what did Wish do? We'll look at Wish next, and then Hood. Yeah, also an all-time low for that, and then Hood. Let's see. What's Hood doing? All-time low on Robinhood also. Yeah, so a lot of these retail stocks are not doing great. And I will point out that if you pull the chart over on IWM, the Russell's 2000, these are smaller market cap stocks. The Russell's been getting beaten down today. So these smaller market caps are not doing great. A lot of stocks are getting beaten down today. PROG, Sundial, Clove, Robinhood, Wish. So yeah, a lot of stocks are suffering. And Joey Selag, I want Sundial to do an AMC or better. And Rico says it will happen. I hope so. That's the hope, that we can get some apes coming in from AMC, maybe taking some of the profits, bringing them into Sundial. That's the hope. Let me see. What's a poll that we could do? We often do what are you most bullish on today, but we could potentially come up with something better than that. Maybe not right. So Zach Taylor, everything bubble gonna pop? We'll see. We'll see if the everything bubble pops. I don't know about that. What would be a good poll question? We've got to get a good poll question going. So I guess we could ask about, well, I want to ask not just about PROG or Sundial. I'd rather something that includes both of them. Let's see. Do you think we'll come up with a poll question later. I'll think of something. But it looks like, I will actually point out, though, the cryptos are not doing great either. Cryptos, for those of you who are just joining, I pointed this out earlier, but cryptos are suffering a little bit. Cryptos are starting to move down. 1.63% on Bitcoin down. Solana down almost 7%. Shiba Inu down about 8%. 3.5% down on Dogecoin. A lot of people, it looks like, are transitioning into the dollar. What's going on with gold? Is down a little bit too. You can see gold is starting to move down 0.23% on the day. So we actually hit highs of 175 on the gold ETF, but even the dollar's down, actually, down 0.06%. So interesting for the dollar that it's moving down. But Nicholas Demos says, how much does Ortex cost a month? It's $80 a month. $80 a month for Ortex. And NJ, thank you for the super chat, NJ. And order on Alto. ALTO. Is that a crypto or a stock? Let's see. Alto Ingredients, or is Alto the crypto? I don't think Alto is a crypto, so that would be a great name for a crypto, though, if Alto was a crypto. But I believe you're talking about Alto Ingredients, so we'll take a peek at that. I believe that's what you're talking about. So it looks like they just had their earnings call come out, and they missed on earnings, which wasn't great. Not surprising to see that they've been downtrending the past couple of days, but yeah, they were expected to make 10 cents per share. They lost 5 cents per share. Yeah, so Alto stock, there we go. So not a great earnings call for them. They were expected to make money. They lost money, which is in contrast to their past two, which have actually been decent wins, right? Their past two earnings calls, they were expected to lose money on that one, and they made more than double what they were expected to on that. So Alto's been doing good earnings-wise until now. So what happened with them? Let's see if we can't find something. ALTO. What's going on with Alto stock? And let's see the market cap and what they're all about. Alto Ingredients sounds like they're selling to grocery stores or something like that. Maybe they have direct distribution to consumers, but they've got a $387 million market cap. So not bad. And Alto Ingredients engages in the production and marketing of specialty alcohols and essential ingredients. It operates through the following segments: marketing and distribution, peak and campus production, and other production. The marketing and distribution segment includes marketing and merchant trading for company-produced alcohols and essential ingredients on an aggregated basis and third-party fuel-grade ethanol. So, all right, alcohol company and essential ingredients, which, I don't know, maybe those relate to alcohol in some way. But let's see. Alto Ingredients to present at the 12th Annual Craig Hallam Alpha Select Conference. Specialty alcohols. Okay, so just the description of the company right there. And the company is focused on products for 4 key markets: health, home, beauty, food, and beverage. Mostly beverage, it sounds like, if they're a specialty alcohol company. Essential ingredients and renewable fuels. So maybe they're farming some of this stuff and turning it into ethanol as well as alcohol. That could be. So yeah, Alto is looking like it could be a good one, but let's see what the short interest is on it. See what they've got short interest wise on Alto. Okay, so this one is decently shorted, but there's actually a lot of short shares left, so we can take a peek at it on Ortex right here. So up 0.13% change on the day. 12.93% short interest as a percentage of the free float. However, shorts have been covering. They've been getting out of this, which is actually a really good indication. The fact that shorts are covering means they likely think that Alto is going to start doing well in the future. So they don't want to be in on this. They saw it pumped up big. They obviously shorted it quite a bit, and then they started covering their positions. So this is actually really good. The utilization is very low, 11%. So shorts could come in a lot more, and a lot more people could be shorting it if they wished. But the fact that shorts are actually exiting their positions, as you can see, this yellow line is indicating that shorts have been exiting their positions over the past while. Shorts are probably not necessarily scared that this one's going to squeeze them out, because they aren't shorting it all that much. There's only 7 million shares short, but they are probably getting out of it just because they think over the long term it's going to go up. So that is very, very good. That is very good for Alto. And thank you, NJ. I appreciate the second super chat. That's the first time we've gotten a second super chat, I believe. So I appreciate that. And we have missed a lot of comments in the meantime. So Ambition, good morning, Ambition. You're getting here late, it seems like. And Ambition, I'm done trading for the day. Nothing spectacular going on. SBA, I guess, to get my average down. Yeah, so SBA, what's been going on with SBEA? Yeah, SBA. So it is moving down just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's moving down. Down 0.2% on the day. But yeah, best to get the average down. And who knows, this one could really blow up come the actual merger when they become BRCC. That could be very good for them. I've seen the past couple Joe Rogan podcasts I've listened to. I have heard Black Rifle Coffee ads, so they are ramping up. They are doing very good marketing, I think. I think that people listening to Joe Rogan are very willing to buy their products, especially if they did a podcast. If the owners of the company did a podcast with Joe after they went public, I think that'd be very good. And Nicholas Demos, I saw your video about PROG yesterday, and said that it needs to be above 550. Why is that? I'm fairly new to trading scene, so I'm just trying to learn. Yeah, so the reason we want PROG to be above 550, this is a good thing to learn right here, is because of the options flow on PROG and the call options specifically. So hopefully you know what call options are. Basically, for those of you who don't know, call options are when someone buys this call option and they have the opportunity to buy the stock at a certain strike price, and 550 is one of those strike prices that people have the opportunity to buy the stock at. So there's a bunch of open interest call options. You can see in this column, open interest. There's a bunch of open interest call options at different strike prices, and they're either in the money or out of the money. If they're out of the money, then the institutions who sold those call options have nothing to worry about. Those are going to expire worthless come Friday on the strike date, November 19th, the strike date. They're going to expire worthless. If they're in the money, if PROG is worth more than the strike price, then institutions have to pay out those shares. They have to buy up shares of PROG stock and hand it out to the investors in those call options. So to do that, they'll have to buy up shares of PROG stock. Obviously, they don't have shares of PROG stock right now. In fact, they've heavily shorted PROG stock, which we can take a peek at on the Ortex. We'll take a peek at PROG right here, and we'll see that they have heavily shorted PROG stock, right? 22 million shares are short, so they're certainly not holding a bunch of PROG shares, hoping to pay them out to investors, right? They are shorting PROG stock and selling call options, and if we get above 550, then we have an additional 29,000 open interest call options in the money, and that's just even more shares that shorts are going to have to buy. So that's why we want it to get up above 550 by Friday. That's why it's important that they get up not just above 550, but above 5, above 450, and 750 if they could do it. There's 56,000 call options there. So hopefully that answers your question, Nicholas. I hope. If you are super new, then you may not have understood the call option explanation, but I know that was a kind of brief call option explanation. I've done longer ones in the past, but just in the interest of time, I figured that should hopefully be good. And Nilesh Patel, good morning. And NJ says, major ethanol produced in the USA for food, animal products, hand sanitizers, beverage, and marijuana products. Oh, marijuana products. Very nice. Very nice. So that makes me even more bullish on, what was the stock? What was the ticker? It was ALTO. Even more bullish on that. So Tyler Mike just goes to show Zach has been behind manipulation all the time. Dropping Sundial down today to buy back cheap. Great CEO. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, tomorrow is the buyback day. I was thinking that some retail might be buying in on Sundial today, moving them up big. But instead, it looks like, the CEO might be getting his buy orders in pretty cheap. So that's right, Tyler. That's right. So Nilesh says, holding 2,500 from 24 price and bought some later. On which stock? BKKT. BKKT. We'll take a peek at BKKT. So this one, unfortunately, has been dipping a bit, and we watched it run up last time, and we said if it could get above 31, it was looking good for BKKT, and it certainly did look good, right? When it moved up above 31, they proceeded to go up all the way to $50 and some cents, right? So BKKT, it looked good. Now, I don't know about it. It has been just moving down in a pretty reliable downtrend. There's always the possibility, when you see a trend like this, people get greedy. People over short. We'll take a peek at the short interest and see what it is all about. BKKT. So yeah, as it moves down like that, short interest is pretty high on it, right? Shorts are getting greedy. Obviously, it's at 34%. So they may end up having to having gotten too greedy. If we see it start moving up in a big way, that could be a big spike. But in the meantime, there's a lot of shorts that are keeping this thing down, that are pushing this thing down. And people are not too enthused to buy into something that's just moving down in basically a straight line like this. I mean, look at this. BKKT. I mean, who wants to buy that straight line down? They're looking at it like that's the trajectory that it's going on. They don't like the look of it. However, I will say that it definitely has the potential to get off of that trend line in a big way to start shooting up because people are getting very greedy. And if you expect the stock to just continue dropping, then you're probably going to get screwed out by big buyers coming in at some point, right? If you get greedy, just shorting a stock, imagine you try to enter this stock with a short position. You can probably imagine how it would probably move up quite a bit as soon as you do. So, like, and share, says Vivi Ruddock. I appreciate that, Vivi. I appreciate that. And Francisco Goyete says Sundial. Yeah, Sundial. Looks like we're holding at 75 cents. We'll see if we can't continue doing that. We've been holding decently over the past couple of minutes, so we'll see. I wouldn't hate if we close the gap, though. And Nicholas says, thank you. That was very informative. I do my best, Nicholas, so you're welcome for that. And Matt says, not to worry, but now Root has reached all-time low. Root has reached all-time low. Root Inc. Yeah, it looks like it's over the past year. Yeah, all-time low on Root. All-time low on Root, all-time low on Wish, all-time low on Clove, all-time low on Robinhood. A lot of these stocks. Rivian doing terrible. Yeah, I covered Rivian yesterday. I explained that I thought we may have been at a top in some of those EV stocks. So, yeah, Rivian moving down 10%. Let's see what Lucid's doing. Yeah, down 10% also. Yeah, that's what I was explaining in the video yesterday. It seemed like the markets had gotten a little bit frothy on these EV stocks. And once you saw a big downturn like we did yesterday, it might have indicated to some people that we were towards the end of it. So these stocks are moving down. Lucid's down about 10%. Rivian down 10%. Tesla is actually up. It's sucking up some of the buyers into EV companies, right? Maybe some of them are moving out of the more speculative ones like Lucid and Rivian and into the big dog like Tesla. Not that Lucid and Rivian are extremely speculative, but Tesla is the big kahuna, right? The biggest one there is. So certainly the farthest ahead regarding self-driving technology, and I think not necessarily battery technology, but they're pretty good with that too. And Vivi, could you please look at DWAC? I will take a peek at DWAC. I will take a peek. So looks like we're just down a little bit. Not much to worry about with DWAC as long as we're above 55. That's where we've held several times in the past. So not too worried about DWAC. Happy to see it maintaining its level, just waiting for a catalyst to come in and get us moving up. Hopefully Trump talking about DWAC will get this one pumping again. We'll see. I think it would be strange to see on this chart not having another big pump up. when we get the next catalyst. Maybe it'll be the Truth Social beta. I don't know, has that come out yet? Or potentially when the company actually merges and becomes TT, I think it's Trump TMTG. I think that's what it's going to be. So yeah, I think DWAC is looking good. I'm not too worried about the move down by 0.18%. It's been a little volatile. Maybe we can get back up above 60 today. We'll see what we can do. But let's see. Zach says DeSantis holding a press conference in Brandon, Florida. FL, I think. Brandon, Florida. Master Troll. I think FL. I think that's Florida. But Diddy, WD, can you look at Blink? BLNK, I think. I think that's Blink. Blink charging. Yep. Blink charging. So we have looked at this in the past. It looks like it might be following EVs down as the EV hype wears off. And, over the past 30 days, you can see Blink's been doing very well with all this EV hype. It might be also suffering, right? So Lucid, Rivian, Blink, all moving down because the EV hype has worn off a little bit. People are getting a little wary of these EV stocks. They know that they've gotten very high in price, maybe past their fundamental valuations. And it's looking like Lucid's bouncing off 60, Rivian bouncing off 180, and Blink, BLNK, let's see what Blink is bouncing off of. Blink is bouncing off 49 or 50, you could say, I guess. 49, though. We'll say 49. So we'll see what happens with Blink. But I think it's just moving down on the lack of EV hype, right? The EV hype's waning. So Gordo says, some more Sundial buy orders at around 74 and 72. Can't wait to get some more discounts. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it looks like we're about to hit 74. We just broke through 75 cents. So we're on the way to 74. And I'm looking forward to 72.5. That's going to be nice. So, how much can they manipulate, says Bali? Well, it seems like there's no end. It seems like there's no end to the manipulation that can go on with these stocks. It's kind of crazy looking at how high the short interest is on some of these. We can look at, we'll look at PROG, and then we'll look at Sundial. But, I mean, the shorts just keep coming out of the woodwork, pushing us down. PROG, I want to point this out, up 5% short interest change today. We've pointed this out a couple of times, but it never ceases to surprise me that people are shorting it so much when there is the risk of a gamma squeeze. I mean, shorts are getting real greedy with it. And Sundial as well. So Sundial doesn't have the hugest short interest change, but over the past couple of days, it has gotten quite a few more shares. There used to be about 311 million. Now there's 350 million shares short. So it's increased by about 10%. It's crazy stuff. That they keep shorting all this. So Vivi, when will Trump talk? We do not know when he's going to speak on DWAC. We don't know, but hopefully soon. Tyler Mike, CEO Zachary George, hedge fund manager, pushing Sundial down for his low share buyback. Manipulation at its finest. Wall Street, yeah. Yep. And Bali Prague still going to squeeze, baby. 2 million borrowed shares. Yep. And Zach Taylor, True Social beta launch any day now. I'm hoping for it. And Nicholas Morello, how do you decide what to buy, Rob? So it depends, right? If I'm looking at a long-term fundamental play, I like to buy into companies that I like, that I could see being really big in the future myself. It often takes a little bit of imagination, right, to look at companies very far off in the future. And take for instance, we'll look at a company that we were just looking at earlier today. MMTA, I think is what it was. Metamaterials. Let me see. Metamaterials. What was the ticker symbol? MMAT, I think. Yeah, so MMAT, Metamaterials. This one I could certainly see being a big player in the future, right? Metamaterials, I'll pull up their website. It takes a little bit of imagination. It looks like their website's going to help us out with that. But the fact that they're developing really advanced materials, though I don't understand exactly what those materials are, how they work, it seems like the kind of thing that would be big in the future, right? For AR, for holograms, for wireless sensing, that sounds very useful. You just kind of have to have a little bit of imagination. If it's a real long-term play for me, like over the next 20 years, I think one of the best ways you can do it is you can have a little imagination. You could even relate it back to stocks in the past, like Amazon, when they first started delivering stuff. If you could imagine how big that could get in the future, right? Obviously, there was nothing like it before, but imagining how big stuff can get in the future is really good, I think, for long-term plays. Now, more short-term plays, I like to look at a little bit more data, right? I like to look at the short interest. I like to look at social sentiment. So Ortex is huge, first of all, if you're seeing the short interest, if you're trying to squeeze something. But I also like to look at the social sentiment, and you can get a great idea of it by looking at a couple of things. One, stock twits. The top stocks there are usually very volatile, so if you're looking for something to trade, they're moving. You can see these are all, except for AMC, up or down about 10% or more. So pretty much everything up until the number 6 spot has had a greater than 10% change, except AMC and NVIDIA is up only 9%, but very close to 10. So a lot of volatile stocks on stock twits, and you can confirm some of your beliefs by looking at Ape Wisdom. You can see which stocks are the top trending there as well. Those are potentially going to be very similar to what you see on stock twits, but sometimes they are different, and you can actually go to Reddit and get some of the bull cases out there. In addition, when you're really looking at a stock specifically, I'll pull up the Google Trends. You can see social sentiment on Google for how many people are looking into it. And we haven't actually done this, but with PROG, for instance, you can look up PROG stock on Google Trends and see that it was rising the past 2 days and that fewer people are looking into it today. And you can glean a couple of things from that. One, PROG is falling today a little bit, right? PROG is down 16%. People are probably a little bit less hyped about it. It was peaking around 9 and 10 yesterday when people thought it may have been really soaring. It was the number one on stock twits. I think it was the number one on Reddit at one point. And now on Google Trends, it's looking like it's suffering a little bit. So that might be an indication that there's fewer people interested in it. It's also possible that some people only looked into it once, right? They looked into it, now they've bought into it. They don't need to Google it again to figure out what they're all about. But typically you do want to see rising Google Trends data if you want a stock to keep pumping. So it's not looking great for PROG, especially the fact that we're hitting $4 now. But those are a couple of the ways that I look at what stocks to buy, right? If I saw a stock rising in Google Trends data after seeing it was near the top of the leaderboards for stock twits and all that, that's how I look for short-term plays. But I will point out, over the long term, with a stock like Sundial, I'm imagining what they can be once legalization hits, right? I'm imagining how big they can get and how profitable they're going to be once they have access to the U.S. markets and banking and all that in the U.S. I'm thinking it's going to be very good for these companies. So that's another reason why I'm in Sundial. But I think it definitely helps to have a little bit of imagination when you're looking at the long-term plays. But that's just what I think. Obviously, there are some people who really like to dive into the numbers and look at projected growth and all that. You can do it. I mean, the analysts kind of do it for you, so I don't think you really need to. You can just kind of look at what analysts say and gauge off of their price targets if they think a stock is bullish or not. But I think over the long term, it really helps out. If you want to pick winners that nobody else is looking for, to just use your imagination a little bit. So Tyler Mike says, CEO, Zachary George, hedge fund manager, pushing his stock lower for his buyback, Wall Street manipulation and voting stock market, on and on. Maddox says, why shorts are still able to drag the price down in PROG, supposed to have zero shares available to short? Not quite. So with PROG, some shorts may have been exiting yesterday, right? Some shorts may have exited yesterday. I think that's what the Ortex data showed late in the day. It was actually negative. Some shorts had covered, so now more shorts can come in, but we're not quite at 100% utilization. We're at 99.92. So that does indicate that there are likely some shares left to short. Let me check and see if we can't find it on Fintel, if there's anything for PROG stock on Fintel. So let's see what we've got. Let's see. So short interest on PROG on Fintel. It looks like okay, so we need to refresh this page. Hold up. Let's see if we can't get it going. All right. So PROG shares left to short. Now Fintel's doing something annoying. Keep up with the latest trades. Okay, so there we go. We got that out of the way. And shares short. So on Fintel, it looks like there is some dark pool volume. You can see that some shorts are trading in dark pools. So unfortunately, there's a decent amount of shorts in dark pools. Not that many, but there are some shorts trading in dark pools. And let's see. Vivi says, how can we squeeze the shorts? Well, what we're hoping for with PROG, or hold up, we got a couple comments left. So, Rob, after 2 days of discrimination, time to move on to another channel. Bye, good luck. I don't know what you're talking about, but all right. Good luck, man. And Tyler Mike, sundial manipulation, that's fine. And Zachary George, blah, blah, blah. Acorn sucks. Somebody's feelings are hurt. Boo-hoo. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but interesting. Vivi Roddick, how we can squeeze the shorts. How can we squeeze the shorts? Well, what we're hoping for with PROG stock is that we'll get a gamma squeeze leading us in to the actual short squeeze, right? You see Progenity right here. We have a bunch of shares short, but we're going to need, if you look, obviously, where people were shorting PROG is very important. So looking at where people were shorting PROG is important to determine where they might begin to cover. And ideally, we would be getting PROG above $6, maybe $7 before we start seeing some initial shorts covering. You can see that short interest was really increasing when PROG was around $1 to $2. And then again, when PROG was around $2 to $3, we were increasing also. So we're going to have to see PROG's price go up a decent amount before shorts really start covering. And that's why we were hoping for a gamma squeeze on PROG. That's why we were hoping for a gamma squeeze. So ideally, we would be getting these call options in the money by tomorrow, and that would be getting some shorts squeezed out if institutions started buying back shares of PROG to pay out to the investors in those call options. So Zach Taylor says, I can't watch the market anymore today. I know. I'm feeling the same. I'm probably ending this thing at 10:30. That'll have been a good hour and a half, but yeah, the markets are bleeding. Markets are bleeding, it looks like. Everything down. You know, things are making all-time lows. Not great days for people's portfolios, I take it. I feel that, Zach. So, Nicholas Morello, I only trust smaller YouTubers like you, Rob. I appreciate that. Would you stop trusting me if I got more subscribers, though? That's the question. So, Matix, I don't see why people selling in PROG all. The movement down is impossible. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's getting manipulated down in dark pools. You never know. We don't have the data out for today yet, but we'll see what happens with it. And Nicholas Demos, what are dark pools? So dark pools are essentially little exchanges that don't have to report as quickly as normal exchanges do. So institutions can use them to kind of skirt the reporting obligations for a couple of hours or a couple of days at least. And not alert people as to what their moves are, right? And I believe there's a more complex explanation about them. I don't have it on hand on the top of my head, but I believe it also has something to do with the fact that they don't have to show people what their bids and asks are. They just put them in, and if the orders execute, the orders execute, but they aren't actually publicly showing that they have orders to sell X amount of PROG at a certain price or buy X amount of PROG at a certain price. They just put it in, and if it executes, it's all hidden. Thus, the name dark pool, right? It's hidden in the shadows. So, let's see. Maddox says, I don't see why people sell in PROG. And Maddox says, thanks. Yep. And shorts need the price below 350 for Friday. Yeah, in PROG. Yeah, I could see them needing the price below 350. That would be a big dump in PROG price. Yeah, that's when a lot of these open interest call options get out of the money. It looks like we've only got the 4s and the 350s left at the moment. So not ideal for PROG. Not great. Not what we wanted to see. Yeah, and Noble H says Roblox is green. RBLX is green. Let's take a peek at that. Roblox up 7% on the day. You know, it never fails to disappoint. Roblox has been doing great, especially since this earnings call. And even before the earnings call, they were a pretty significant company market cap-wise. But yeah, Roblox has been doing good. Not surprised to see it. Roblox is a very popular company at the moment. I don't know if this can maintain itself forever. It seems like the kind of thing that has to come to an end at some point. But we'll see. I'm not in Roblox stock, and I used to play the games and all that. We'll see if Roblox can maintain these levels, but maybe it can, maybe it can't. So, Nicholas Morello, Rob, LGVN is supernova. LGVN up 134% today. It is going supernova, down at lows of 284 until today. Now it's up at 692. What the heck happened with this stock? So it looks like they've gotten halted a couple of times. All right, that's cool. But they report the FDA granted a rare pediatric disease designation for their Lomecel B for treatment of hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Interesting. And it affects approximately 1,000 babies per year. Okay. Very cool. So, rare pediatric disease designation. Wow. That's certainly nice for them. Let's see. What's their market cap looking like right now? I mean, I obviously don't want to get into a play that's pumped up this much already. But let's see what they're looking like market cap wise. $137 million market cap on Longeveron. Okay. So decent. And FlexForce, I got 1,000 shares of Sundial at 74 flat just now, sitting at 12K shares. Nice. And Mike K, can Sundial buy their stock back using a dark pool? They might, maybe they can. I've never used a dark pool. I don't know. Maybe they can. I think that since they're their own company buying their own stock back, they might have to announce it more publicly than using. I don't know if they could use a dark pool. That's a good question. I'm not sure why they would want to, though. I'm sure they would want to publicize that they're buying their own stock back because that would produce a higher price in Sundial, right? It would get people excited, get people hyped, and then Sundial would be able to move up. So I don't know if they would want to do that even if they could. But Noble H says, Roblox, wish I would have grabbed some when it IPO'd. Yeah, me too. I mean, looking at how it's done, RBLX, it's been doing really good ever since IPO, right? At lows of $60.50. Now up to highs of $138. Yeah, that would have been nice. That would have been nice to have gotten some Roblox. So that would have been good. Tyler Mike, this just confirms Sundial is going to the moon. How can they manipulate down like this for a share buyback? I've made a lot of money by identifying these manipulation trends. Nice. Well, we'll see what happens with Sundial. I'm hoping that they just close that gap. I'm hoping they close the gap and then get on with it. Get to the upside. It looks like, unfortunately, Sundial this is one of their worst days, right down 6% already. And we're only about an hour into the actual trading day. So, Treble says the SOFI and SPY was immense. Markets will bounce. SPY. Let's see. Did the S&P just sell off big? I know. Oh, wow. Yeah. Certainly did. What's QQQ doing? Big sell off there too. Nice. Saving me just in time. What's SQQ doing? SQQQ. Nice. All right. So we'll see. And Zach Taylor says full moon and lunar eclipse overnight tonight. I know. I heard about that. Or is it? I thought it was tomorrow night. At least where I am, it's tomorrow night. I'm in North Carolina. So let's see. So how you can see the nearly total lunar eclipse Friday morning. Okay. West Coast night owls and East Coast early risers will have the best view of the upcoming lunar eclipse this Friday. Overnight, the moon will pass into the shadows. I'll pull this up. Overnight, the moon will pass into the shadows of Earth cast by the sun, illuminating the gray orb with a red hue. It will be the second and final eclipse of the year. NASA predicts the eclipse will last over 3 hours and 28 minutes. That would make it the longest partial lunar eclipse in 580 years, according to Holcomb Observatory. So, how to see the eclipse? When the moon is covered by 4:03 a.m. Eastern Time, the peak of the eclipse. Okay, so the moon will begin to pass into the Earth's shadow much earlier, around 1 a.m. Eastern Time. At 2:19 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon will move into the umbrella, the inner part of the Earth's shadow, and begin looking like a chunk is missing from it. It will turn red around 3:45 a.m. To see the show, simply go outside and have a look. A pair of binoculars or a camera with a tripod might enhance your view. Okay. Well, it sounds like I'm getting up very early on Friday morning. Gonna have to check that out. The day is the 19th, but time is 1 to 5 a.m. Yeah. Gonna have to check that out then. And Marie G. Roblox is up because of all the money I gave them. Yeah, I know. They certainly are a cash cow. They definitely pull in with those microtransactions. So, Gordo, what's going on with PROG? It looks like PROG might be bouncing off of 4, fortunately. but down a bit today, so not the best. Not the best look for PROG. We wanted to get back up above 5. That didn't happen. Sundial moved down as well. You know, we can't control the markets. If I could control them, I'd be moving both of these stocks up big time. I'd be moving all the stocks up big time if I could control them, but I do not have control over it. So we'll see what happens with PROG. But it is 10:29, so it's getting to be about that time, guys. About time for the end of the stream. Thank you all very much. And Noble H says, I hear you, Maria G. I've spent way more on Fortnite, though. If Epic Games ever goes public, I'm buying them for sure. Yeah, that might not be a bad acquisition, right? So other than that, guys, hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream, even though we were very red today on most of the stocks we were looking at. But, you know, that's how it is in the market sometimes. Some days you make money, some days you lose money. And Nicholas asks, Rob, are you holding Redbox for the long term? I'm not in Roblox, man. I'm not in Roblox. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow for a much greener day than this, when the call options for Sundial and PROG are actually expiring. But other than that, guys, have a great one. I'll see you in the next stream and some of the videos. Bye, guys.